Hello and welcome to my channel and to my latest reading that I've decided to do on. I've been thinking about it today, and this is the reading I've decided to do is on the disappearance of people in national forests, or even forests in general. So I'm not focusing on any specific forest or area. I'm just like kind of like just doing an overall reading on the likelihood of, or not the likelihood, but what it generally is that makes people disappear in, like, cause in forests. Because if you know, there's like a big phenomenon of that happening. So national forests plus forests, just disappearances of people in forested like areas. So I got, as I was setting things up, I got that like there's three main reasons and then sort of tertiary other reasons as well. So I'm not sure exactly what that might be, but I'm going to I think I'm going to start it from like what is the biggest reason, followed by the second, the third, and then maybe the sort of the tertiary less likely, like, because there's all these different reasons. But we'll see. So what is the first reading? The first, I'm going to sit down. I'm going to make sure the camera is running, and then we're going to get into this interesting topic. I'm very fascinated about that, and it just popped into my head today. Why don't I do a reading on it and see why this is the case? So why do people disappear in national forests or forested areas? Okay, forested areas. They go in for a nice hike and they are never seen again. And they end up on like different mystery series, unsolved mysteries, like Mr. Bellin podcasts, people trying to figure out what the hey happened to it. So the number reading, and I'm hearing this is specifically for forested reasons. There's different disappearance reasons in other places, but this is specifically like zoning in on the forested areas. Okay, so the number one reason, and I might make this into a part two reason, because a part two reading, if I kind of get tired of this, I might want to make this into a part two, if I get too tired, but if it gets so long, right, I might want to break it up into another reading. So let's get to what is the first number one reason. Because there's all these different people, but purportedly there's not just one reason, but the first reason, the forested areas, the national parks. Okay, I'm hearing they didn't see it coming. So 8 of Wands is going fast into something in the 5 of Cups. I'm hearing the first thing is they didn't see it coming. And that is very important for, just let me get the drink of water. That's very important for the fabric of reality and how this reality operates. So they didn't see it coming. The first reason, they didn't see it coming. These people who disappear, the first reason, the biggest reason, and I'm hearing the word door. It's like a door opens, and I'm hearing they go somewhere else, and that is the reason that there is no body. They go somewhere else in the first biggest reason. Why do they go somewhere else? House. I'm hearing some other reality sucks them in from somewhere else. And I'm hearing when this happens, this is the same kind of, so is the first reason a portal? Yes and no, something like a portal, something that is baked into the forested area, something that is like a live type energy that is like a door, a house, and then we've got a door and a house. So it kind of it sucks them in. Constancy, like everyone expects reality to be constant, but since we are in a dream world construct, that is not how it works. And what happens in national forests, it correlates to how our reality actually works. So that's why it's the number one reason. But it's kind of like, first they're here and then they're gone. First they're here and then they're gone. So, and I'm hearing this sort of like electric energy. Is that right? Yeah, an electric energy of, in a sense, it is a portal. In a sense, it is a it is a journey to something else. And it's interesting because I was just drawn to like a bag of granola. I'm kind of feeling hungry right now. I'm going to take a bite of food. But I think there's a reason I look at this this bag of granola, because it's like, as I look into the bag, there's all these different nuances and aspects to reality, right? Like, we're used to seeing things as one way. I'm here. We're used to seeing, okay, we're gonna get it like time, or we're used to getting up the next day. It's the next day. We're used to, but I'm hearing humans are trained to see reality in this way. They're trained to see things in a very physical way, and that's why people can disappear into these dimensions. I mean, okay, I have a question. Why do some people disappear into the forest and some people don't? That's an interesting thing. So why do some people disappear? Because that just question popped in my mind. So why do some people disappear and some people don't? Why do some people disappear and some people don't? Because, I mean, there's tons of people who go into national forests, right? And not all of them disappear, right? Naked. Something about their, okay, let's keep on going. Naked hesitation. I'm hearing there's something about their field that is like can slip into these realities, these different realities there's something about it that they're not protected, or that sort of can be as disturbed, and it's basically like they have no hesitation. They have no. So what exactly does that mean? I'm hearing there's a core what is it? No, I'm hearing like a blood type, but it may be different from the OB, but it's something about the energetic blood type, and it connects to their etheric the body, and it allows, certain people are susceptible to this. Certain people are sort of susceptible to bring. So are these portals in the national forest? Yes, I'm hearing power play, and I'm seeing very low energy and high energy. So there's these. Why are they in the forest? Why is it in the forest? Why doesn't it happen? Because there's all this power play, energetic power play that can happen. Okay, so it's happened. Am I right in saying that it's happened outside of the reach of humans? So there's all this energetic mumbo jumbo that goes on in the forest because there's not constant human like energies. Like if you go into like a publicated area or public sort of area where everyone's constantly there, there's not as much time for mischief. So it's like in this, so I'm hearing that the reasons like people is so what I'm trying to say is this, am I right in saying that this is people slipping through portal or portal like dimensions is what this first reason is? What is this first reason? Yes, I'm hearing yes, but there's more new. I've got the moon card. There's something more nuanced to this. There's something more nuanced. Yeah, with the Six of Pentacles. I'm hearing that sometimes, I'm hearing there's, okay, when this happens, it's a travesty because it's sort of like, they've created these energies that people, so I'm hearing is some of it mischief. I'm hearing yes, it is. Some of it is mischief. Some of it is unintentional, and some of it is just due to, like unintentional sort of the goings on. Like they like to, like beings, various beings, aliens, various beings, various interdimensional beings. They like to have their way with Earth and figure out Earth and be on Earth in a place that is not seen by humans. They like to be on Earth, but in a place that's not seen by humans. But what happens is some of these beings unintentionally create like portals where people can just slip through, and they do through unintentionally, but some do it intentionally. Some they actually target, it's meant to target and trap humans, like certain type of humans. Is this a certain type that they want to trap? Yes. And I'm hearing for like some sort of slave trade in some cases. Some just want to I'm hearing some hate humans, some of it's unintentional, but some, like I'm hearing for like a slave trade, or also like just to take humans to experiment. And it's a way to, it's like they can create these because it's unseen. Not to say people go up to that's, it's like this is a ripe for this type of activity, because in the forest they're away from humans so people can't see what they're doing. But then there's all this energetic mumbo jumbo where they can trap humans, because humans go there, but it's like not constant humans. It's not constant humans. So the situation of ripeness for all this energetic mumbo jumbo and manipulation, nefariousness to come to happen, to create. And I'm hearing traps. So yeah, so that's the part of it is intentional. Some of them, they trap them for, I'm hearing a small amount of these beings, and I'm hearing there's different beings, but what has led to this portal-like unstable of energy is the fact that it's like away from humans, but humans go there. So there's all this energies that they like to sort of be in this place because humans go there, but they're not flooded at all times with humans. Would say like a city center, like a place that people are constantly at. So it's kind of ripe for that activity, and it's kind of like Knight of Pentacles. I'm hearing that some are trying to stop this because they think it's a travesty. Like some higher beings are like, they feel this is what some higher beings, they think it's a travesty that humans are trying to find some sort of peace and sort of excitement and relief in the forest, and they can't. They find it there because of all this energetic mumbo jumbo that's going on, and it should be a purified. I think it's a travesty that forests can't be, given all humans go through. There's beings that think that this is very tragic, that some people, that there's this danger that's put in there. And then they go to relax, to connect with nature, to feel better, like humans go to recharge, and that's a good thing. And then they risk sort of falling into these traps. So I have another question then. Is there any way, if you're going to go into the national forests, like, and I didn't know what questions I was going to ask, so I'm just going to go as this reading leads me. Is there's any way for humans to avoid, like, you know, you're a hiker. How do you avoid being sucked into one of these traps, into one of these portals, either from the energetic mumbo jumbo that goes on, or from the nefarious traps? How do you avoid? I'm hearing, number one, ask for protection. Ask for it sounds very simple, to ask for it not to happen. Ask for protection, so intend that it doesn't happen. Number two, pay attention to your feelings. If you get a funny feeling that something feels odd, weird, and not in a good way, then move back and outward, as I'm hearing. Yeah, move back and outward, away from it. Very, very slowly. If you get this feeling, this funny feeling that something feels weird, but not in a... It's interesting. Then King of Wands, and then the King of Wands, not making a big deal about it. It's kind of like how you act if you encounter a bear. I think I don't know. Go ahead. Because I'm understanding with the cougars is you get really aggressive, but with bears you shouldn't do that. That's my understanding. It's kind of the opposite how you're supposed to be with the bear. You're kind of like, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this because I don't quite remember, but I think you're supposed to slip back and not really go into their territory. I'm hearing if you start to feel funny in the forest, go move back to the side and to the outward, backward and outward, kind of like away from it. And the sun, and go towards a sort of a more brighter energy field, because you'll feel, and I'm hearing another thing, old warlock traps too. Interesting. I'm hearing another reason is, and this could kind of relate, and is this a second reason? Sort of. It's sort of like an old warlock trap would create like a portal to... So where do these people end up then? How does this happen? So it's kind of like this energetic... so should I get to that now? Or okay, I'm going to go to the old warlock trap, and then I'm going to get to some other question. I might make this into a part two. So old warlock trap. So there was like different warlock wars, and even one slipping. I'm hearing some slip through the astral dimension and through time. They don't know what time it is, so they start messing with people they shouldn't. There's a lot of confused energy from old warlock wars too. There's a lot of stuff that happened that needs to be cleaned up, cleaned up. And it's kind of like, because of that, when you go into the forest, it will likely be all right, but you might fall into one of these, like, these portals that suck you in into another reality. You suck them into another reality. And I'm hearing, okay, what happens to the people? I'm hearing some die instantly. They kind of get sucked into a reality where they just disappear and they die. And I'm hearing that's kind of a problem, because their vital essence is sort of taken away from this reality, but it doesn't know how to... They can get trapped in time, so there can be souls trapped in time, and it kind of interferes with this person's natural, like, evolutionary process. Because if they get sucked back into a reality that's like 400 years old, it's like it's getting in the way of their natural soul progression. So it's like these people that disappear, some of them, I'm hearing some die instantly. They just die, but their soul gets sort of trapped. And I'm hearing it's not fair because it's getting in the way of their natural soul trajectory. And it's basically, it's kind of I'm hearing it's messing them up in a profound, like, soul level when this happens. And some kind of their ghosts gets back, but it can be confused in this way. For some, and I'm hearing for some, used for it's brought in there. Some of these people are like fully live, and they're brought into like the slave trade and other I'm hearing that in some of them, they've even met up with other people who've been lost in the forest in other areas, like they get kind of, they meet people that were like lost in the forest as well, and they end up somewhere else, and they have a life somewhere else in some cases if they don't instantly die when they're sucked through the wrong energy. And they kind of, I'm hearing either a slave trade or being kind of manipulated into another reality. And sometimes I'm hearing that this is like haphazard. Sometimes this happens where it's totally inadvertent and they get the wrong person, but sometimes it's part of an agenda to get a particular person to another reality when they want them in another reality for another purpose, for like a slave trade or something that's not exactly like a slave trade, but they want them for this other reality. And then and I'm hearing some of them, why their family is waiting for them. They actually, some of them that don't die, some of them that disappears in the forest, they actually are having a decent, not all, but some of them, they have a decent reality in another reality. It's very surprising to them, right? Because some of them don't even know about like portals and being sucked into other reality. It's very shocking to them. It's like I'm hearing waiting, and it's like they feel guilty because of their families, but they actually have a good, in another reality, like a parallel planet reality, parallel world reality, parallel time reality. And they feel very, like they're kind of put into this reality and they can't get back. And then they sort of, I'm hearing this is like 20% of the ones that go in the first reason that I'm talking about in this video is like the first reason, 20%. This is something that can actually happen. They feel quite guilty, but it's not all torture or bad for them. They actually find a reality that is like halfway decent in some cases, but some just get shredded by time itself or a portal. Some die and get just shredded, and then they have to sort of extricate themselves from this experience and not get stuck. But yeah, so it's interesting. So scholar. So I'm hearing that I'm hearing when I say this, I'm hearing time travel. And that's another reason. It's kind of be the third reason, because the second is sort of like they kind of relate to each other too. Like one is sort of unintentional, the other reason is intentional, where they actually target certain people. They know who they are, and that kind of relates to time travel, because they can tell from these beings I'm hearing it's kind of nefarious, because they can tell from their perspective when is somebody going to go into the forest, and they can sort of set traps for them and then suck them into the particularly reality that they want for their purpose. So I'm hearing when I say slave trade, it's not necessarily always a slave. They're a slave, but they're a slave in the sense that sometimes it is actually a slave. They're stuck into a reality where it's a slave trade. In other cases, it's a slave that it's like the reality they go to isn't bad, but it is like, it's not like they feel guilty, and it's like the person who did this shouldn't do it, but it's like sometimes it works out. Like it's kind of, I'm hearing the person that goes through this experience is so very surprised. It's like they are so very surprised. In a lot of cases, some not, but some are so very just shocked at the reality. Like I'm hearing some of them are like, Narnia was true or something. Like not like they start to think, well, the wardrobe is true, but they feel, I'm hearing that lots of them, they feel, the ones that don't die, like in a bit, I'm hearing a chunk of them do die, they just get zapped, or the portal just goes wrong and rips their body, and they just go like, it's kind of messed up. And some they feel quite melancholy because they feel bad, they feel very bad for their families, like they feel a lot of guilt. And then they feel, and I'm hearing they feel thieved by this reality, like, because they know that somebody kind of designed for them to do this, and they feel thieved by it. But then they're kind of, it's not so bad either, some of the realities that they go through. So it's not like, it's not bad either. So it's like they feel kind of bitter about it in some cases, but happy that they're alive, and feel kind of like, yeah. So what are the other, okay, so what's another disappearance in forest? So let's see what other messages do we want to get for the disappearances. I'll go to the angel reading. Let's see what the 3, 4, 5 and then I hear this is very important. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Be gentle with yourself. So that's an interesting card to get. So I'm hearing that, like, when you're going through these forests, that there is a certain, okay, because I was heard before that there's certain what do you call it, like blood type, something in common with so sometimes there is some sort of, but it's more like I'm hearing a certain mindset that sort of, when these people go into the forest, there's sort of a mindset, an energetic spirit that they can be in sometimes. And I'm hearing, I am not happy here. I am not happy here. And they're kind of like an energy, you know, when people go into the forest, they're kind of searching. And I'm hearing it a lot of times when they're taken to the reality, that this is kind of, there's sort of this energy of searching, and I am not happy here. Searching, and I am not happy here. And they're kind of going into the forest to resolve that feeling. They're kind of going into the forest, okay, to feel better. But I'm hearing that particular searching, you know, in the wilderness, and I am not happy here, it kind of sends this energy that, oh, you aren't happy here, and then they kind of get targeted or by these groups, right, who want to, I'm hearing some of them are scientists, and they want new people for their kind of their realities, their off-planet realities, their cyborg, like there's just many realities, and they kind of look for that print, and they kind of use it to excuse themselves. It's kind of this, I'm hearing it's not random who disappears in the forest. Like there's a certain, I was hearing before, there's something that they hold in common, and it's kind of like, because you know when you go, you know, you're like, oh, so when somebody goes on a trip, they've kind of got this energy of searching, or maybe they're unhappy about something, and they're kind of looking in the forest for healing, and it, like, I am not happy here, searching, I am not happy here, searching. So those energy fields of those kind of mindsets, and it's not fair, because they're going into the forest. They're not going into the forest to be, you know, taken away to another reality, but it's kind of like this energetic field, kind of, it's like this co-creation between, when it's intentional, when there's these intentional people, kind of these intentional beings using these portals to suck these people into their realities. They kind of think, oh, that person's not happy, or they kind of use that as an excuse. Well, like, even though the person, they wanted to stay here, they were trying to deal with their stuff by, you know, that kind of searching and being in the forest. But it's kind of these people, they're not entirely happy in it. And I know that lots of people aren't unhappy, but it's like this, a lot of them have this energy field at the time that they're taken or manipulated into these realities that and what I'm getting also is that there's people trying to I'm hearing it's like it's something about the fabric of there's beings that are trying to correct this, but with the knowledge that like our grid has never been, especially with time travel and stuff, has never been exactly stable, or it's become a lot more stable. So it's like there's these beings that try and correct these things, but while they want it, there's beings that try and correct this because they feel it's a travesty of people just going into the forest, and then they have this risk that they have to contend to, but they also have to sort of respect energies and the natural law, and that our grid is and our reality is as it is too. They kind of have to respect energetic free will of these sort of people that are not these sort of energetic perpetrators that are not always in the up and up too. Like they don't, like they have to sort of respect people's free will as well too. So yeah, I'm hearing that if you go into the forest, or if you go into these national parks, just ask for constant protection, because when you ask and you make that intention, you're not going to have that energy field of, I'm not happy here searching, I'm not happy here searching, I'm not happy here searching, which somehow they've lined up. There's a certain energy, and I'm hearing that thoughts and energy can actually be quantified into shapes and measured, actually. And that's what they see as the predominant energy field of a lot of people that are taken into these realities, even though they did not ask for this to happen, but energetically something like that's the energy field in their psyche at the time that creates this sort of like the conditions for them to for this to happen. And I'm hearing they feel very bad about their family, and sometimes they try and send messages back, but it's they don't know if it will be, and I'm hearing for some, though, some don't make it, some that disappear, they just get sort of sucked into this reality that like because of all the energetic mumbo jumbo, and their whole molecular structure gets like destroyed, and because of that they kind of, it's hard to put them back together, because when somebody is like sort of, when they don't die by a normal way on earth, like just say so, for example, somebody's abducted by aliens, and then like something goes wrong, and then the aliens put them back in their bed, and that's how they die. But it's upsetting these kind of energetic traps. They upset the natural sort of energetic flow of human energies. But that's happened so much with time travel, that has already happened so much. So it's like I'm hearing our whole reality is starting to be like Swiss cheese anyway. So sometimes it's hard to know where a person should go, even in relation with how our reality, for all the amount of time travel, has sort of shredded it. So this is part of the problem. Like this thing that happens in the forest is part of that. It allows for these actors who are taking humans who shouldn't be doing that to do that, if that makes any sense. So that's part one. I might do another one, I don't know, but that's what we've got for now. It's an interesting topic. I hope you enjoyed listening.